new flavors to try, and fun.
Let me ask Jason if he wants me to like just upload this raw, or if he wants me to like just
addiction.
Here we go.
Since
Actually
the dawn of time, people have become addicted.
Put the interesting like reaction parts.
11 minutes later.
Alright. Jason essentially said he doesn't care if I upload the whole thing or not. I might still cut it down. I just don't react that much. I don't do reactions. Yo, what's going on, guys? Flum Pineapple here, and here we are with the long-awaited Coca-Cola and Addiction, the Brian story reaction from last year's 24-hour stream. And as you saw in the previous clips, Jason did give me the go-ahead to just upload this how it was on the stream. Like I said though, watching this, I don't really react that much, at least verbally. I do react with my face, of course, and as much as I tell people not to look at my face, if you want to see my reactions, you're gonna have to look at my face here. I'm sorry, you just gotta do it. When this was streamed, of course, it was a bit rushed, so I came back and I moved my face cam into this corner right here. One, covered chat. Two, I squished it, and three, it covered up, part of the video. Like it was gonna cover part of the video anyway, but it covered up part of the video it shouldn't. I remedied that as much as possible in editing, so your viewing experience should be a-okay. Yeah, I'd give it a B. But like I said, since I don't verbally react that much, I am going to leave timestamps. I'm gonna try to leave timestamps. They might not be in the description right away, but I will try to put them there. And then at the end of the video, I did record myself kind of watching through it, and there's a few more bonus reactions at the end there. So stay tuned for those, if you want to see those. And yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I'll be back at the end of the video, but for now, let's get into this.
Brian, is it time?
Yeah, we can do that now.
Okay. So as you guys know, I've been working on a skit. I think all of you know about it. It's 35 minutes long.
Okay.
God damn, 45 minutes?
Oh my gosh, no way.
35 minutes. I messed up the title.
Wait, it's on YouTube right now?
Yeah, I can post it into Discord if you want.
No way.
We have 1:45. I'm gonna go pee real quick.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing. Let me get this up for chat. I will get rid of this, and I will be right back.
Dude, stop! Dude, that's nasty. Dude, I'm trying.
What are you doing? That's nasty.
Well, at least I'm not recording some dude peeing.
Look at that. Look at that.
Whoa!
Get out of my bench, bro.
Whoa, I'm just trying to take a piss.
I need to piss too.
I'm just trying to pee. Dude, can you leave too?
Part 1.
I'm here.
Soda. The product known as soda has been around for
Welcome. 2-1.
began in 1767.
Okay.
The legendary European scientist.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Used his
Wait, this is Charlie!
How do you know that?
Carbon dioxide by methods of
Okay.
infusion. Back then, people saw this and believed that this
Is Brian back?
I'm back.
was a cure to
Okay.
disease.
Yeah, it's a video essay, Brian. It's not actually a real skit, but I'm still counting it as a skit.
Okay.
In 1769. The beverage sold in ancient pharmacies such as CVS. A
Wait, what
pharmacist
is going
would
on
mix
here?
prescriptions into the
It's a
carbonated
video
water
essay, dude.
so that it would be easier for the patients to take. As for Joseph Priestley, his story wasn't over.
Why do you have
He spent
Hades
the latter half
gameplay in the
of his
back?
life
I
as a
know what else to
door-to-door
put.
doctor.
Oh god,
The
I'm getting
practice involved
spoiled.
being invited into people's
Yeah, we
houses
do.
like a vampire and pouring the carbon
I'll just
water down the
listen.
throats of anyone who looked or seemed sick. This was surprisingly effective. On record, it states that Joseph Priestley was able to save 1,000 lives by doing this. However,
So this is
all his
45
work
minutes?
and effort would
35.
quickly fade away. On one
Jesus
fateful
fucking
day,
Christ.
Joseph Priestley accidentally poured too much down the pipe at once, causing his patient to quickly choke and die. Joseph Priestley was quickly cancelled and shunned by society. People threw tomatoes at him, which made him very sad. So he did what any fine, crafted man would do. He went home and read for the remainder of his life. After Joseph Priestley's time in the sunlight passed, his formula was improved by a guy named John Mervyn Newth, who I'm not going to elaborate on anymore. I only include him because his name is funny. A Swedish scientist,
What the
named
hell was
John
that
Jacob
part?
Berzelius, began adding flavors to the carbonated water. These flavors included spices, juices, wine, meatballs, and milk. The spices, juices, and wine were only to add a flavor to the medicine. However, meatballs and milk were used for patients who had a protein deficiency. Despite the flavors adding some much-needed flavor, the carbonated water beverage did not yet find its way out of only being used as a medicine. Things started to get interesting in 1783 when Johann Jacob Schwepp created the Schwepp Company to sell his carbonated water in Geneva.
So cool.
However, Geneva rejected him and wanted him
Yeah,
gone.
it's the history of
With
soda,
no
dude.
other options left, Schwepp
Soda
moved
in
his
general.
business over to London
Yeah,
in
that's cool.
1792.
But this is just part one,
Luckily,
though.
London was a
Okay.
big fan of him, and business was booming. In 1843, King William IV showed up at Schwepp's house and gave him the key to the city and an official warrant that lets them use the special water from the Malvern Hills. With Schweppes now out like a rabid dog not on a leash, it was only a matter of time for its rabies to spread away from its origin. People began to view carbonated water as a beverage beyond simple medicine. Humanity began to view this beverage as one of great value. People finally began drinking the carbonated water as a delicacy instead of medicine. People began doing this because of a guy in London who was selling carbonated lemonade at his local lemonade stand. Masses flooded this lemonade stand, causing citizens to become inspired to create their own carbonated beverage companies. By 1840, there was more than 50 carbonated water manufacturers. Now, 50 is a big number, and carbonated water is a big word. So in 1851, Webster, the dictionary man himself, appeared on scene at the Great Exhibition and created the word, that famous word, known as soda, to describe the carbonated water.
Soda!
At this
Soda
same
reference.
exhibition, Schweppes revealed new
Minnesota.
products that they sold in front of the convention center. They sold millions of bottles of their new products: lemonade, ginger beer, seltzer water, and soda water. Let's talk about tonic water real quick. It originally was used to defeat the evil disease known as malaria. It was a battle that lasted longer than Goku versus Frieza, but in the end, tonic water won. People celebrated by mixing their tonic water with gin. People loved this taste. They loved it so much that they began to commercialize it and sell it on shelves in 1858. With the excitement of the soda craze happening, people were ignorant to a bigger problem that appeared in the background. That was the fact that the bottles used weren't strong enough to handle the gas from the carbon dioxide, and quite literally blew up. There was an incident where a soda addict got so excited for his delicious pop that he consumed the entire bottle at once. That sweet euphoria he was feeling quickly ceased when his entire head blew off due to the weak bottle not being able to handle the gas.
He's me for real.
This was the first known incident of a
Did that
soda
actually
as
happen?
well.
Oh,
That's
Luckily
crazy if
for
it's
soda
real.
drinkers everywhere, a hero
You try to
was
drink a
emerged
Coke
from
and the fucking
shadows,
thing
just
explodes
like
your head
Batman.
off.
The hero's name was not Batman, however, but it was Helium Cod. A cod crafted a bottle that involved placing a metal marble under a rubber washer in the neck. The bottles were filled upside down, which would force the marble against the washer and seal the carbonation. That the bottle was pinched to allow a chamber for the marble he pushed into when you opened the bottle. This would allow the marble to not block the neck of the bottle as it was being poured. Everyone was going bananas over this bottle design. All the manufacturers were using Cod's bottle design. There was a huge dance party to celebrate Cod's work, and a statue of him was crafted in front of his house to remember him. So, soda company R. White paid for the statue in full and celebrated the completion of this statue by releasing new flavors: strawberry soda, raspberry soda, cherryade, and cream soda. However, Cod's work didn't stick around, with the exception of that one Japanese soda that you'll see sometimes and be like, wow, Cod's methods aren't used anymore. Instead, the world uses the Crown Cork bottle seal, patented by the William Painter, who was not a painter, but instead a machine shop owner from Maryland. The person who took up this patent was Michael Owens, who was a mere employee at Libby's Glass Company. Despite the odds stacked against him, he was able to create the product. The bottle is pretty cool. It was the first bottle to successfully keep the bubbles inside the bottle. The people liked this, so they made a glass-blowing machine specifically designed to create this bottle. Production skyrocketed, and they began making 58,000 bottles a day, as opposed to their previous 1,400 bottle
Jack,
record.
this is really cool, huh?
In America, 1806, a Yale University chemistry professor began selling soda using Knuth's apparatus as a beverage. Businessmen from Philadelphia and New York took notice of this and began selling their own soda. Then another guy, John Matthews, took notice of this, and an idea sparked in his head like a firework. He invented the soda fountains. This helped a lot because there was a glass crisis in America because someone ate all the glass. Anyway, soda fountains are a thing now in America, which is pretty cool. The sales of
That
soda
is
continued
pretty cool.
to flourish, not just in a single country, but throughout the world. However, the world changed again when young Sally Lou from The Grinch wanted to take the soda home. To solve this Dr. Seuss conundrum, the home pack was invented in the 1920s, allowing consumers to bring their soda with them wherever they go. They came in 6-packs originally, but 12-packs quickly made an appearance too. Around the same time, vending machines began to spawn in and became increasingly popular. Soda continued to evolve throughout history, with numerous different formulas and flavors being invented constantly. A few companies and manufacturers stand out above the rest.
Alright,
These
I'm gonna go,
include
guys.
RC Cola,
All right, see you doing.
Keurig
See ya.
Dr. Pepper, Jones Soda,
See ya.
PepsiCo, and of course, the legendary Coca-Cola Company.
Coca-Cola,
Part
Coca-Cola.
Coke. John Pemberton was a Confederate colonel who was wounded during the American Civil War. He quickly became addicted to morphine. Luckily for him, he happened to have a medical degree and began to find a solution and replacement for the problematic drug. He began his work on research at his drugstore,
Y'all hear this okay?
Pemberton's Eagle Drug and Chemical House, located in Columbus, Georgia. In 1885, inspired by the formidable success of Vin Mariani, a French Corsican coca wine he created, his creation, titled Pemberton's French
Epic.
Wine Coca Nerve Tonic, with an added ingredient of African cola nut from his inspiration.
It's just so intriguing.
A year later, Atlanta and Fulton County passed the prohibition legislation. Pemberton got pissed and responded by making Coca-Cola a non-alcoholic version of his previous drink. He marketed it as a temperance drink and sold it for 5 cents at Jacob's Pharmacy in
Little bit,
Atlanta,
I got
Georgia,
you.
on May the 8th,
I don't know if you're trolling or not,
1886.
but I'll try.
Pemberton claimed that it was a cure for many of the things such as morphine addiction, indigestion, nerve disorders, headaches, and impotence. With the success of Coca-Cola, his son, Charlie Pemberton, was gifted ownership of the company. Charlie Pemberton was an alcoholic and opium addict, which pissed off his co-worker, Asa Candler. Asa Candler only worked with Pemberton to gain the Coca-Cola formula for himself. However, Charlie wouldn't budge one bit. Luckily for him, John Pemberton died from morphine addiction suddenly in
Very lucky.
1888. Asa found out about this and went to his funeral. There, he approached a saddened and depressed Charlie and demanded to buy the company for $300. Charlie foolishly accepted Asa's offer and gave
Okay.
ownership of the company and the recipe to Asa Chandler.
I'm sure it's not too
As
bad.
for Charlie Pemberton, he was found dead on June the 23rd, 1894, with a stick of opium by his side. Asa Chandler expanded the company a lot and created the Coca-Cola Company in 1910. In 1923, Asa then sold the entire company for $25 million to Ernest Woodruff's Trust
That's a lot of
Company.
smackaroos.
Elected president, Robert Woodruff began his reign with an iron fist. He quickly brought Coca-Cola to the entire world and began selling six-packs, encouraging customers to buy Coke for their home. One of the things Woodruff hated was the word Coke. He wanted the world to see his product as the full name, Coca-Cola, instead of just Coke. No matter how
Respectable.
much he tried, however, the world would simply not accept the name. This really upset him, so he went to therapy for 5 years to get over it. He came out a stronger, better man and accepted Coke. The company trademarked the name Coke in 1945. The recipe for Coca-Cola is a top secret that cannot be seen by anyone. The
I'll find
recipe
it.
has remained the same for decades, only being changed slightly to allow it to be consumed during Passover. The company keeps its recipe a secret, to the point that when Brazil, the country, demanded Coca-Cola to reveal their recipe to them to continue selling in Brazil with its population of 500,000, Coca-Cola immediately stopped selling in Brazil. Brazil eventually came to their senses and realized that they were no match against Coca-Cola and decided to allow them to sell their drink without revealing the recipe. Then Coke screwed up, really bad. They had a rival that intimidated them and scared them until they pooped in their diaper. That rival's name was Pepsi, and they were vicious. Pepsi began to overtake Coke in sales, and Coca-Cola didn't like that. So they pushed the new Coke button. They released this new version of the drink into the world and immediately felt the consequences. Humanity realized that they didn't appreciate Coke enough until it was taken away from them. The public demanded that Coke returned, which it did quickly. Coke Classic returned on July the 10th, 1985, only 2 months after New Coke took over. Because of this overwhelming feeling of nostalgia, Coke sales flourished, completely dominating Pepsi. Since then, Pepsi has always been there, in Coke's shadow, but never to surpass. Coke has continued to shine since then, and for the years to come. They're constantly creating new flavors to try, and fun marketing ideas that involve the community. Thank you, Coke. Part 3. Addiction.
Here we go.
Since the dawn of time, people have become addicted to things. The battle against addiction is a never-ending battle, and it's no different than with soda. I brought up the guy earlier whose head got blown off when he consumed the entire bottle. Despite that being the first documented addict, there are plenty more back then. Back then, there wasn't as much documentation as there is now, so only extreme stories as that would be documented to make the news. Like all addictions, people grew a complete fondness for that sweet, carbonated taste. This epidemic only grew when it became more readily available and more flavors were being added. However, it simply wasn't documented enough. When someone died due to a soda overdose, doctors would look at the subject and find something else wrong, and blame it on that instead of on the soda. So soda has been silently killing people since it debuted, and it has been getting away with it. Since Coca-Cola's reign, there have been numerous reports that drinking too much Coke can cause many health problems, including obesity, diabetes, increased blood pressure, excess abdominal fat, kidney damage, and at worst, cases of death. Coca-Cola has taken measures to make their drink more healthier by cutting sugar down, by replacing it with more corn syrup, and by creating Diet Coke, caffeine-free Coke, and Coke Zero. These have helped quite a bit. However, it doesn't help someone who is completely addicted to Coke. Mexico is a country that has a massive Coke epidemic.
Yeah.
Over 70% of Coca-Cola's entire sales are in Mexico, and they have the highest consumption of Coca-Cola in the entire world. However, the addiction of an entire country pales in comparison to the most legendary Coke addict of them all. This one single man is more addicted to Coke than anyone combined. The
Oh,
person
boy.
I'm talking about is none other than our friend, Brian.
Oh no.
Part 4. Brian. Brian is a real-life friend who is proudly addicted to Coke. This started at a very young age. Young Brian was taken into a room with thousands
It's
of
true.
drinks to choose from. He instinctively chose the Coca-Cola. Ever since that day where he chose the Coke, he would buy a can of Coke from a local vending machine every day for 25 cents. One day, the vending machine didn't work, so to get his desired product, he broke the machine and grabbed the can by doing that. His addiction worsened when he began buying cases of Coke and drinking entire cases a day. One time, Brian went into a store and brought the entire stock of Coke. All the cases, all the six-packs, and the bottles. The store owner was so impressed that he gave him a bottle of Diet Coke as an added bonus. When Brian tried the Diet Coke, he threw up immediately. After wallowing
Real.
for a little bit, he quickly drank the entire collection of Coke that he just bought to make up for what he threw up. To better understand Brian's history with Coke, I reached out to a few of Brian's friends who know him better than I do.
Well,
Oh
when
my
I would
gosh.
walk by his house, I would just see in the recycling boxes and boxes of Coke. And in the backyard, there was just a trail of cans of Coke leading to the back door. And I knew right then that there was a problem.
Wow.
There I was at this restaurant, and Brian got himself a Coke, and he spilled it. All of a sudden, he started freaking out, and I didn't know what to do. He grabbed me, he grabbed me by the hair and started shaking my head back and forth. And I was like, Brian, I can't put the Coke back in the cup. I can't. He was demanding that I do it, but I just couldn't. And from there on, I decided never to be around Brian whenever there's Coke around. I decided to separate myself from that because I know that he's not the best when he's around that kind of stuff. He's not him when he's around that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's just really weird how Brian keeps bringing up, like, Coke in the skits. Like, they're not even part of, like, the skits. Like, in different Cokes for different folks, it made sense because Jason had it in the script. That was the whole premise, that I had to go get the Coke to save Jason, and it was funny because Brian's a Coke addict. And, like, oh god, that seems so terrible. Like, looking back on it now and knowing that, like, I mean, I guess we should have all seen it coming with how often he brought it up in the skits. Like, in both Dwayne's, in the first one, everybody thought it was a planned bit in the first one, but it wasn't. Brian brought this Coke onto the set and was like, we need to have Coke in the skits. And we were all like, Brian, that doesn't really make sense. And he was like, no, we need to have Coke in the skits. And we were like, okay, Brian, all right. And, like, afterwards, it was kind of, we thought it was kind of funny. And, it was like, haha, like, the left, go right, or whatever. And it worked out. And then in the next one, he was like, brought this Coke onto the set again. And we were like, dude, where'd you even, like, get that from? And, like, we're like, aren't you, like, going off of Coke? And he was like, no, we have to have Coke in the skits. And, like,
I'm just like Robert Downey
I guess it
Jr.
kinda makes
in
sense
the
since we had
Avengers
it in
movie. I just got it on me.
Uber?
It's just, like, unhinged, man. He just has this volatile reaction if we don't have Coke in the skits.
So when this whole, like, Coke addict thing started, I thought he was, like, doing a bit, if I'm being completely honest. I thought it was, like, some big joke. And maybe it started like that, who knows, but as time went along, like, the bit never, like, ceased. He would bring Coke everywhere. Like, when I remember we went to a restaurant one time, and they had Pepsi products. He literally pulled out a can of Coke and drink it instead of getting the Pepsi. And I remember this one time, as a joke to counter his joke that we thought was a joke, we, like, tried to take away his Coke. Like, we grabbed his can, and you know how, like, a dog will attack you if you try and take away their... That's how he was. He was literally getting so mad when we tried to take the Coke away. So Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Things I've noticed. Well, I mean, you know, it's been. Let's see. I can't remember how many years it's been, but when I first started noticing stuff, it was probably 5 years ago, I would say. You know, it was just small stuff at first. You know, we go out to eat somewhere. Brian would order a Coke, and it was very simple, very very innocent stuff. You know, we're just having fun. And I did it for a while too, but then Brian started wearing some Coca-Cola products, and like shirts and hats, and he got a poster from somebody. You know, I don't know where he got that, but at that point I started really. I was really hurting for him, you know, because I could see what was going on in his life. I mean, I remember this one time, you know, we went to this restaurant, and it was out in Quakertown or somewhere, and we got to the restaurant, we sat down to order our drinks, and Brian asked the waitress, did they have any Coke? And she said, no, we just have Pepsi products. And Brian flipped out. He lost it. We had to leave.
It was ugly. Yeah.
And we had to drag him out of the store, actually. So
it was ugly.
Yeah, that was a turning point, I think.
As we just heard, Brian has been drinking Coke for a long time, and seemingly only drinks Coke. As we learned, he keeps cans on him in case a restaurant doesn't serve Coke. What's interesting is that when Brian receives a meal, he'll coat the product with Coca-Cola. He has this specially made seasoning that he must have made himself because it's not fucking sold anywhere. So on top of only drinking Coke, he only eats Coke, too. Another interesting thing is the amount of Coke-related products that Brian has in his room. He has Coke bedsheets, Coke clock, Coke phone, Coke shirts, Coke decor, Coke deodorant, Coke shampoo and conditioner, Coke plushes, and a whole lot more. It seems that Brian has based his entire personality around his Coke addiction. His entire lifestyle appears to be revolving around this one all-encompassing thing. When people think of Brian, they won't think of his great accomplishments. They'll think of his addiction.
Oh, man.
And he's perfectly fine with that.
He's so right.
We can see Brian drinking Coke in various videos that he's in on the JMan Films channel.
No.
This implies that Brian likely drinks at minimum a 12-pack a day. However, what's even scarier than a Coke addict is a Coke addict who lies about it. As we see in different Cokes for different folks, Brian claims that he only sniffs his Coke.
Aren't you a Coke addict?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I have that
right
shirt.
There, but okay, first off, I'm a Coke addict. I don't even drink Coke. All right.
Why does everyone say you're a Coke addict then?
I just like having it. I collect it. All right.
Who
Like
likes
I'm tired of
having
people-
something that they don't even drink?
It's nice to look at and smell. It smells great.
So you just take cans of Coke, and
Yes.
This claim by him is
That's
not true,
doctored footage.
as we can clearly
Doctored
see
footage.
him drinking Coke in other short films that he's in. However, this does add on to his addiction, meaning that when he's not drinking Coke, he's sniffing it. Another instance of Brian's Coke addiction on display is in Dwayne 4. Ben claims that Brian drank an entire 2-liter bottle of Coke in less than 15 minutes. The segment of the video also was about 5 minutes up to that point, meaning that Brian drank the entire bottle in 10 minutes instead of 15. Brian's response when accused was a defensive one, claiming that he could stop if he wanted to, like all
Chat, this
addicts
is slander.
tend to do.
Yeah, I know you. So what? You didn't drink all of it, dude.
Dude,
It's-
come on.
There's a.
Come on, man.
Do I have to
I wa-
share with you
I
now?
was thirsty,
Oh
okay?
my God, dude. You
What's
can't.
the man
let-
gonna do?
You just can't even. You can't get off
It
for one
was
day.
there.
You just can't get off
It
for one
was
day.
there.
You can't even do an
It
hour,
was
man.
there. I can do an
You
hour.
can't do an
If
hour.
I wanted
Clearly
to.
not.
If
We
I
bought
wanted-
these 15 minutes ago.
Well, I don't care.
Dude.
I needed a drink.
You couldn't.
So there's no denying it. Brian is a world-famous coke addict that clearly needs help.
They got a body double.
Brian is currently going through immense rehab in Mexico. From what we understand, the rehab goal is to give him so much of the drink that he would never want to drink it again. I'm not sure how effective that is going to be, however. I fear that Brian's coke addiction is far too strong for any rehab service to clear him from. However, I still have hope that he gets better somehow. We've reached out to a lot of Brian's friends who all wanted to give their support to him as he goes through rehab. The remainder of this video is a montage of these support clips for him.
Oh, great.
Brian, if you're listening, we wanted you to know that we love you, man, and that this is all for you. Thank you for watching.
No.
It's just, he means a lot to me, and like, it's tough seeing him like go through this, but I'm so proud of him for going through rehab. Just hold on.
Oh no.
Hold on. Okay. I just want him to be okay. I just want him back.
Best wishes for
Oh, no.
Wisconsin, Brian. I wholeheartedly supporting you throughout everything that you are going through, and I just hope that in the end of it all, you come out a man better than what you were when you went in. I am so sorry for what you are going through right now. You do, in fact, have the strength and courage to get over it, though. I am positively certain. Best of luck, my friend.
Chad, I'm actually gonna cry.
Brian,
Oh no.
Jason tells me you have a Coca-Cola addiction.
Oh no.
Okay, so that's not good. And I hope that you're seeking help, because we all love you and we all care about you. Okay? And anytime you need anything, I'm here. I mean, we've known each other forever. And, yeah. So, get some help and get over that addiction. Okay? Because Coca-Cola is no good for you. Pepsi's better.
Oh, okay.
Hey Brian, I heard you're gonna go get some help with your coke addiction. And even though it's a horrible time, because now you can get some sick Marvel characters out of it, I just want
He's
to say
right.
good luck on your journey to getting fixed. Anyway, see you, man.
Brian, I heard what happened. I just want to say one thing. Do not quit. Don't give up. Never give up. What do you mean that's not the point of the video?
Just want to wish you happy birthday, Brian.
No.
And Jason told me about your coke addiction. Hoping you get the help you need, buddy. So, have a speedy recovery and happy birthday.
Well, Brian,
I thought he was
another
about to
year
chug it.
down the drain.
I thought he was about to chug it. I would have.
Sipping on Coke, forgetting all our problems exist. And that's okay. That's alright. You can do that every now and again. A little Coke every now and again never hurt nobody. But not for you, Brian. Not this year. This year, we expect better of you, but more importantly, we expect better of you for us. So Brian, let's start off this Brian New Year right. I'll drink to that.
Hell yeah, brother. Get it, guys? She's burying the hatchet. That's a knee slapper. So funny. No way. That's actually littering. That's crazy.
Brian, I'm sorry for calling you a coke addict. It was thoughtless, and I didn't consider how deeply those words could cut you, or just how true they really were. I'm proud of you for taking steps towards your recovery, even though it is your birthday. You'll get through this, just like UPS peak season.
Oh,
if
no,
you need
it's
anything,
okay.
I'm always here for you. Happy birthday, buddy.
That's crazy.
Hey Brian, this is Jason. I just wanted to say that I hope things are looking up for you and you're able to recover from your coke addiction. I know rehab isn't going to be easy, and yeah, I've been addicted to things too, Brian, and look at me. Anyway, take care, buddy.
Hey Brian.
No.
He just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, man, and just hope you're doing well, bro.
Brian, you gotta stop drinking all this coke. It's not good for you. It's just ridiculous. Stop it.
No way, what?
Hey Brian, I heard you hit a bit of a rough patch. Well, I hope they get you out soon and you get the help that you need. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And P.S., you know, if there's any particular game that you would like,
Shut
Ben
up.
really, really wants to get you something.
Shut up.
So maybe that time in rehab will be, you know, you'll be able to think of one. All right, thanks, man. Happy birthday.
Okay. Brian, I'm happy to hear you're taking these big steps in your life. You know, I hope that you fight through this addiction and that, you know, you come out of this, you know, to come out as stronger and mightier than the way you came in. You know, I just hope that everything goes well for you. I just, you know, I just wish the best for you, Brian. And you know, I'm happy to hear that you're taking these steps. And you know, I'm proud of you as one friend to another. I'm so proud of everything that you're doing to better yourself.
Brian, I understand that you have
The
a
man
Coca-Cola
himself.
addiction. Sorry to hear about that. I hope that you're taking things in hand and you'll get better. Just want to know that I'm thinking of you.
Hi, Brian. It's your longtime pal. You know,
Yeah, wow.
Ben here. You know,
Ben, Pizza Boy himself.
You know, it's been interesting the past few years. You know, just seeing the sort of progress that's been made in people's lives, and I have to say, you know, it kind of hurts, you know, seeing what happens in your life, and you know, the turn that it's taken. And I know what it is. I know why it is. I shouldn't be afraid to say it. You know, I really do think that your coke addiction has hurt our friendship over the past few years, and you know, it's hurt me personally. I know it's hurt other people around me, and you know, I just need to reach out and let you know and be truthful and honest about it. And I don't know. It's difficult to say that as your friend. You know, I want the best for you, and I'm hoping that this reaches you and reaches some part of you that maybe convinces you to, you know, maybe change your ways a little bit. So, yeah.
Chat, how am I supposed to go for another 12 hours after that? That deadass almost made me cry. How am I supposed to go another 12 hours? Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna ignore the fact that we weren't supposed to talk about that at all, but...
Brian?
Alright.
Okay, so that was my mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I sent the prompts out to people that I included that, and then I found out you didn't want that included.
No,
So that
it's
was my
okay.
mistake.
It's okay. It's whatever.
What was your favorite, like, surprise, like, cameo surprise?
I don't know, there were so many good ones. So many that I didn't expect. Honestly, I kind of want to go with Pokey, just because it's just so unexpected. Nick was unexpected. Chris was definitely unexpected. John for sure was unexpected. That was a wild one.
But my mom was expected.
Oh wait,
wow.
no, yeah, your mom too, yeah. Why do I feel like your mom and Nick genuinely think I'm going through something?
I hope not.
Y'all are wild. Unbelievable. Well, chat, what now?
You do pose a good question. How do you follow that up?
How do I follow that up? And how do I go for another 12 hours after that? No way you just called your dad by first name, that's crazy. How did I know Hannah was gonna put that thing in her part? Like, what game do you want? What's a game that you want? Oh my god.
So what game do you want?
Shut up. There's nothing more any of y'all could get for me. That was enough.
Brian, we want to know what game you want.
Shut up. Honestly, the video was too much. Just y'all showing up for the stream was enough. Y'all are crazy.
That was like a super last minute addition too. Like it was just so. Like,
I'm glad he did
I was
it.
surprised he said yes to doing. No, he was so great about it.
I'm glad he did.
was like,
So
yeah,
much
sure,
of this
yeah.
was last minute additions.
There was I was
That's awesome.
When Chris and John showed up, I was half expecting like my brother to
hilarious.
show up or something. It's like, I was wondering how far he would go.
Dude, Chris wanted to. He was like, "Get me in there."
Really? Ed too. Did I mention Ed? Like it was crazy that he was in there.
All right, Brian. I'm probably gonna hop off the call, but I'll still watch the stream.
Whack. I mean, okay. All right.
Please
Sounds
don't
good.
be
Sounds
mad.
good. Sounds good.
Don't be
Yep.
mad.
Why would I be mad?
I don't know.
I'm not mad. I'm
All right.
angry.
Well,
Angry.
I wish you a great night and nothing else.
It's too late for that.
Yeah.
It's too late for that.
Say it, Hannah. Just say it. Oh, might as well.
A very felicitous wishes.
Okay, don't use big
to
words
you,
around me.
on this day of your first existence.
Generation of your entrance into the world.
Many thanks. Many thanks.
Entrance. Yes. Well.
All right,
Good night.
Hannah, thank you for joining. Have a good night.
No problem. All right. You too. Bye.
Bye. Wow, she couldn't wait to get out of there.
Ben, what'd you think of it?
It was great. I loved how it turned out. I cannot believe you got that many people. That was insane.
I wanted to get more. There's a little lore about it. I can go on a spiel.
Yeah, go
Danny
for it.
was supposed to do it, and Derek was supposed to do it.
Okay.
Derek bitched out over something.
Derek realized how much he still hates me.
And then Denny had a lot of stuff that he needed to do that I'm not sure if I should say on stream.
No, I probably
But
not.
I'll get. Yeah.
I trust it. He's a busy man. So.
Yeah.
I was half
I was-
expecting my brother to show up.
That was okay. Yeah, that was one of the people I wanted. The only people I told about this idea was Ben, Charlie, and then Jacob and Francis.
Okay.
And one of the people I told Ben I wanted to try and get was your brother, but I didn't know how I would get him without you knowing.
Gotcha. Yeah. The other one that would have been cool, but you probably wouldn't have thought of to do was I was trying to say his name. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't even know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, that one would have been nuts. That legit like made me cry a little bit.
I'm sorry. And Charlie did an amazing job with the narration.
He did great with the narration.
Yeah.
Creepy. Has he ever considered voice acting?
He has, I think. The whole script was written in probably like 2-3 hours. I just did it Monday morning at work.
There you go. I switched it for you. I was working on switching it for you. Don't worry. The reason I didn't switch it earlier is because I thought we were gonna pick a game by now, but we didn't. So. Oopsie.
I'm glad we all like.
You want me to bring the mic
at the same time? We all had to use it. I didn't say so, but as soon as Brian went, I went. So,
bro, I'm in there, I'm pissing, and I'm like, the timer was at 1:30. I'm not gonna make it. So I cut my stream. I came back and it's 3, 2, and I'm like, oh my god. Here we are behind the scenes of editing the Coke skit reaction. So if you made it to the end of the video here, you get to see, whoa. You get to see some behind the scenes here of editing this, and yeah, I don't usually do react videos, and I also don't do like behind the scenes videos of me like editing and stuff, but I want to do a little behind the scenes video here for this one, just because the kind of video it is. It did kind of hit me emotionally during the stream, and I feel like editing it, you might get some more reactions. So if you're seeing this, there were some more reactions while editing, and if you're not seeing this, I'm talking to nobody.
There was an incident where a soda addict got so excited for his delicious pop that he consumed the entire bottle at once. That sweet euphoria he was feeling quickly ceased when his entire head blew off. Pretty cool. The sales of soda continued to flourish, not just in a single.
I don't know how much of this is actually like accurate.
However, the world changed again. PepsiCo, and of course, the legendary Coca-Cola Company.
Coca-Cola.
Yasser then sold the entire company for $25 million to Ernest Woodruff's trust company. Elected president Robert Woodruff began his reign with an iron fist. This one single man is more addicted to Coke than anyone combined. The person I'm talking about is none other than our friend, Brian.
Oh no.
Part 4. One time, Brian went into a store and brought the entire stock of Coke. All the cases, all the 6-packs, and the bottles. The store owner was so
especially the
gave him a
bottles.
bottle.
I thought he was like doing a bit, if I'm being completely honest. I thought it was like some big joke. And maybe it started like that, who knows, but...
It always starts like that.
Like, it never like ceased.
You got a poster from somebody, you know. I don't know where he got that, but at that point I started really... I was really hurting for him, you know.
It's funny coming from the guy who has a cardboard cutout of me in his bedroom.
What's interesting is that when Brian receives a meal, he'll coat the product with Coca-Cola. He has this specially made seasoning that he must have made himself because it's not fucking sold anywhere. So on top of only drinking Coke, he only eats Coke too.
I love when Charlie says
Another
fucking.
interesting thing is
It's
the
just
amount of Coke-related products that
music to my
Brian
ears.
has in Coke Decor, Coke deodorant, Coke shampoo and
You know, Coke
conditioner.
deodorant would go hard. I'm not gonna lie.
This implies that Brian likely drinks at minimum a 12-pack a day. However, what's even scarier...
Used to, honestly. It was pretty bad.
So you just take cans of Coke and...
This claim Ben claims that Brian drank an entire 2-liter bottle of Coke in less than 15 minutes.
I think it was actually 1 liter. Yeah, that's a 2 liter. Not what Charlie claimed I chugged in Dwayne 4.
Brian is currently going through immense rehab in Mexico. From what we understand, the rehab goal is to give him so much of the drink that he would never want to drink it again. I'm not sure how effective that is going to be, however.
This is quite ironic because we're talking about Coke addictions. I meant to save one of these for this exact bit, you know, the Mexican Coke, but I drank it. I didn't go to Mexico for rehab. I went to Mexico for the good stuff. I just forgot to save the good stuff for the bit. Get it, guys? She's burying the hatchet. That's a knee slapper. So funny. Shut up, idiot. Ow. My neck. That's littering. That's actually littering. Yo, that's crazy.
If there's any particular
Stupid.
really wants to get you something.
Best of luck, my friend.
Chad, I'm actually gonna cry. It's true. Ben sent 3 hearts. Aww. Can I do that? I don't think it's gonna let me do it. It doesn't even show. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Well, yeah, I should have saw that coming. And then I can just... We did it. See, the first time when it didn't, you know, show anything, I used the actual white heart. But then I used the red heart. And it popped up green. So I changed to white. Because that makes sense. Okay, so we got Pokey with... It looks like a heart and pancakes, huh? It's a cake. It's a cake. It's also not showing. I just realized, like, I'm expanding it so I can see it's in full screen. It doesn't show it. You guys still see the editor, so what the fuck? It looks like pancakes. It's just a normal cake. Sent by Pokey. Oh, Pokey. I always forget how to spell it. Pretty sure I'm the one that came up with it too, but that's crazy. So we got a heart cake. Please? The cake doesn't work. Insert cake here. That's the best I got, Pokey. That's a long one. Who sent that? Okay, it's Jacob. Brian about to drop some crazy lore. Oh, he uses 2 T's. He does the 2 T method. Okay. Let's not mess this up this time. Oh, but it's not the normal hearts. It's like these hearts. Can I do that? Probably not. Nope. Shoulda guessed. So unfortunately, we're using the normal hearts. Boring. Yeah. What? I selected all 3. That's... Make the green one red! Sheesh.
Well, Brian.
Shit, I'll drink to that. With the pals. the backward pals. Because it's mirrored. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry, Jason. I won't let the chat know that you had a typo.
Sorry. Hi, Brian. Your longtime pal. You know,
wow.
Ben here.
Yeah, wow.
You know, it's been interesting the past few years, you know, just seeing the sort of progress.
I feel like, I don't know if I referenced this in the other behind the scenes thing I recorded, but I just like how for most of them I don't really react. Ed, Pokey, Chris, Ben and Hannah's dad, I react a little bit because, you know, completely unexpected. But Ben pops up, my best friend since like end of elementary school, beginning of middle school, and I'm just like, oh yeah. What a reaction. Ben, you deserve better. Wow. That was the Coca-Cola and Addiction, the Brian story, skit reaction from last year's 24-hour stream. Yeah, I couldn't really express it that well on stream. Still can't really express it that well, but I was just thankful that everybody showed up for the stream. That was the last thing I was expecting. But yeah, thanks to Jason and everybody for. I'm not saying all of your names. I'm not. You know who you are. You were literally in the video. But thank you for that. I love y'all. And if you're watching this and you're not part of the friend group, just know that my friends are better than yours, and you're never gonna have good friends like mine. So I'm sorry that your life sucks. But that is gonna do it for this video. If you missed the last video, I addressed the Coca-Cola addiction allegations in full in that video, so make sure to check it out. Which I just want to put out there. Jason put this on my porch this morning, so he's not really helping. If you want to see more content like this, and I'm not talking about the reaction because I don't do reactions, but if you want to see more content like Coca-Cola and Addiction, the Brian story, make sure to go check out Jason's channel, check out his other videos. I'll probably put a few on the end screen and down in the description. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. And by the way, it's not set in stone yet, but May 17th. May 17th. Mark the calendars. May 17th. I will not elaborate.